go live yesterday. Some life things came up, so I'm trying to make it up today. And I have a really fun project idea, so hopefully it works out as planned. Let me just adjust this slightly. All right, that should be good. And I'm setting up a secondary camera for anyone who can't watch the live so that they could still see the project later on. Or if you can't stay for the whole video, that's okay. Hey Veronica, how's it going? All right, so on the last live video, and I hope you guys saw the photos that I posted, but I did some really fun coffee projects. And let me just grab one of them. I'm not going to show everything, but also for anyone watching later on replay, this is a live video. The whole point's for me to be able to chit chat with people. Hey Julia, so there's a lot more talking than normal. But so here's the tray that I did, and I finished the sides with gold. So the video is out on Facebook, and also these are in a Facebook auction that I have going on right now, just so you know. But this is how these came out, and yeah, lots of videos coming soon. I'm doing my best to edit things as quickly as possible, but time has been a little crazy recently. All right. So I did those projects. So I kind of wanted to do a coffee bowl of sorts. But I couldn't really think of how to do it to where I would still be able to shape it into a bowl. And I think I have figured it out. Essentially, I'm just going to put the coffee beans in the center of it, and then do a whole thing around the outside. So that's what I've come to terms with. Should work. So before I even mix up my resin, well, first let me get this video pulled up on the computer so I can see you guys from this side. I feel like I'm in a rush because I have to pick up my daughter in like 50 minutes, but I should have plenty of time. So I'm trying to not be too spastic. All right. And if I were my gloves, where would I put myself? Okay. All right. Yes, there we go. Link to the Facebook auction right there. All right. So I'm gonna have to figure out where in the world I put my gloves. For some reason, I randomly have one glove here, but I would very much enjoy having two. Oh my goodness. Okay, there they are. All right. Sorry. Here we go. All right. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do alcohol inks because I want the outside to be more opaque, but I have a plan, so we're going to go with it. So I'm going to start off with some gold mica powder around the edge, and I'm going to just brush this on. And this is Polycolor Gold, and I really like, I did this on another project. I really liked how it came out. So if you're going to pre-decorate your mold in any way, shape, or form like this, I definitely recommend doing that before you mix up your resin. Otherwise, you'll just be eating into your resin work time, and we don't want that. Yeah, they did grow legs and walk away. Absolutely. I had a Zoom call yesterday, so I kind of like threw everything off of my table, and yeah, so. I need to set up some kind of like office so that I have more professional space for those, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna kind of feather it out a little bit. So I don't want like a harsh line. And you can do this as much or as little as you want. The resin, I've noticed, kind of softens the line anyways. And then I would recommend shaking any excess out. You don't have to do that, but it will help. If you don't shake it out, then they could kind of float up when you pour your resin in, which is also not a bad thing unless the mica goes in places you don't want it. Tiny piece of dried resin there. It's annoying me. Okay. I would blame things on the cats, but this is the one room that they never go. So unfortunately, I 100% can't blame them in here. I can definitely blame them in the house. If pens go missing, it is 100% my cat. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a bowl, and even if it ends up being a tray, I'm still going to use the same amount. I'm going to use about 12 ounces of resin. This is Mixed Media Girl Artist Resin. I like to start with part B because it is the more liquid of the two. So I'm going to do about 6 ounces of part B and then 6 ounces of part A. And I did preheat this a bit. Not a lot. It's not super cold. Although it is supposed to rain all weekend. But right now it's not super cold, so I just preheated it a little bit. And I'm reusing the same container that I've been using. I preheat it because otherwise it is too thick to release all the air bubbles since I'm pouring it into a mold. This is not a casting resin. Jennifer, that totally works. Yeah, so I'm super excited about the rain. All right, then you want to stir this for about 3 to 4 minutes. And as you stir, this is actually really important. You need to scrape the sides and scrape the bottom of your cup. If not, no matter how much you stir, you will not get a full mix. And so you can have some curing issues. No problem. And I just posted a video that I hope you guys watch. I posted it both on Facebook and YouTube. And it is what not to do when doing a resin pour on a vase. So if you have tried a resin pour on a vase and had any sort of issue, please check that video out. Yvonne, epoxy resin is just a category of resin. So this is epoxy resin. This is my specific formula for epoxy resin. Yep. Excellent. Yeah, it's very informative. I went into some color theory. I define transparency and opacity. So please watch it as many times as you need, and hopefully it clears up some things. If need be, Google some of the words in there. And I do list in the description what I recommend using, as well as go over that in the video. Yeah, you can use this on a tabletop, absolutely. I preheat my resin by setting the bottles in front of a space heater for about 5 to 10 minutes. If it's really cold, I might leave it a little bit longer. And if it's hot, like, in LA, it gets 100 degrees, I might not preheat it at all, or I'll just preheat it very little bit depending on what I'm doing. And you stir for about 3 to 4 minutes. You can stir a little bit longer if you want. It's got a work time of about 45 minutes. So the longer you stir, the more you'll be eating into that work time, but it's better to make sure that you mix it fully anyway, so. All right, I think we're about good. I also still have to mix up the colors themselves. Just give it a good couple more scrapes on the bottom and the sides there. And I think we're okay. I wasn't timing or anything, but all right. So I am going to be using, I'm going to put a smidge of gold dust in this entire thing. And I do just mean a little smidge. So like if I had to say, I guess I'd probably say like maybe a quarter of a teaspoon in there. Awesome, Reggie. Kathy, I'm not sure what you mean. But if this is not your bag of tea, that's okay. All right, I think I'm going to use, I have a color actually called coffee. If I can find it. Or I might use copper. Nope, coffee. Coffee metallic. This is Polycolor. Used to be Stone Coat, relabeled as Polycolor. This is one of the colors I don't sell, but you can get it on Amazon or from Stone Coat Countertops or RK3 Designs. And then I want some kind of pearl color. Right, not a Veronica size. I might make, actually, I'm just going to make one. Oh, hold on. 1 second, everybody. Let me just see if... I had a pearl mica, but I think I gave it away. Pretty sure. I'm still a little bit divided between the office and here, so it's okay. We're gonna basically just make one. I don't recommend using acrylic paints, but you could if you wanted to. So I'm gonna mix this kind of cream color here. So I'm just going to put a few ounces into this cup. Let's say maybe 5 of this cream color. So acrylic is water-based, you guys. These dyes, they're oil-based. If you put acrylic in there, you can end up with what's called a flash cure, which means that it can cure basically instantly. So if you're going to put acrylic in there, try just a very small amount and in a small amount of resin. Don't try a big batch because it just depends. Some of them react differently and you don't want to get surprised. All right. So in one of these, I'm going to add the coffee one. I feel like I put a little too much in this cream cup, but can always come back and add more. I don't want to mix up more of a color that I don't need, so there we go. All right, in this cup, I am going to use some crushed gold pieces. These ones I got from Just For You Online UK a long time ago. This has lasted me a very long time, but you can get them on Amazon and other places. Just literally type crushed gold pieces on Amazon. I also have a link down in the description to my Amazon store, which would have them. So that's going to go in there. In here, we're going to do the coffee metallic. And this is a mica powder. So I'm going to just put a scoopful in here. And then in this cup, I'm going to make kind of a cream color. So I'm going to add just a smidge of this coffee metallic. And then I'm going to add a couple drops of white resin dye. All right, and then we'll get these mixed up. Now on my coffee bean projects last week, one of the difficulties that I ran into was having the beans stick out of the top. So this time I'm going to do it a little bit different. And I'm going to put the beans in one at a time. I might add more white dye to this, but let's mix it in fully. Hey, Erin. And I'm kind of going for like a latte kind of color. I might add some gold in here too, actually. That might be nice. Yeah, I do not recommend acrylic paint in general, but once again, if you're going to do it, just try a little bit. I have used acrylic paint and resin many times and just had a few too many instances where, again, I got that flash cure and wasted resin, and it was just very sad. So I'm going to add just a little bit of gold mica into here. And that'll give it a little more sparkle also. Okay, so we've got our colors mixed up. Yes, the white dye will absolutely make it opaque, but of course it depends on how much of it you use. If you only use a drop in a large amount, it's not going to be opaque. Jerry, if you preheat it, yes, and become familiar with it. I wouldn't try it without being familiar though. And also make sure that, also you could do it in layers as well. So if you're pretty familiar with it, absolutely. I do all my pyramids with it. I have done river tables with it. So you just got to be familiar before you do it. There we go. All right, got the second camera rolling. Okay, so I am going to, no, I don't think so, Reggie. I'm gonna pour these around the edge slowly. And this is the crushed gold pieces. And I just want those to be around the edge. It's going to give a little pop. And kind of some texture. We'll have texture from the beans too also, but so just give it a little something extra. And I like trying new things, so haven't done these around the edge, I don't think. There we go. Yeah, coffee bean pyramid would be cute. Okay, then next to that, Jerry, it's on the thicker side. I don't have an exact number for you. I don't know. I haven't gotten any sort of measurement of a number, but okay, here's that kind of cream color. And here's, I'm actually going to add, this came out a little darker than I wanted. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the white dye just to lighten it up. So it'll be definitely opaque. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think that'll be nice. Kind of reminds me of chocolate milk more than anything. I feel like coffee is just a little more pink, I guess. All right, then here is the coffee color. And don't worry, we'll get these all blended together. We're just putting a little bit in here so that we get all of our colors in here. All right, so in the center, I'm adding some clear. And I'm not going to go too crazy on it because it's going to self-level there. And then we'll take our coffee beans. And I'm just going to put these in like one at a time, basically. I'm going to put them in a couple different directions. And I've got to make sure that they get flattened out and fully covered with resin. I think it's going to be super pretty. I'm pretty excited. I like coffee a lot. And I'm kind of on a coffee kick right now. So, oh no. Man down. Don't worry, I'll get him in a minute. And of course, you can do this as much or as little as you want, but I'm trying to just get the area that's going to be the actual bottom of the bowl covered is my goal here. I don't want to go above that because these will not bend. And we just want a single layer. There's some broken pieces in here, but that's okay. I don't think that's a problem. So if you're looking for a real quick project, this is probably not it. And yes, I know I dropped another one. That's okay. All right, so quiet. Yeah, so also while we're here, we do have an art auction ending on Facebook in about an hour. So go check that out, please. The projects that I made from last week are in there, plus some other awesome ones. And yeah, I've got some resin vase and bowl kits in stock. So if you guys would like to learn making resin vases and bowls. And Jennifer, that's funny. You know, it could be cute too, is you could probably do this with like tea leaves. I think that would be actually really cute. So maybe that'll be a future project coming up. We'll do like a jasmine tea or something. I'm not a tea drinker, but that's okay. Beautiful projects for everybody. All right, I think that's good. Hopefully it's kind of centered. Okay, let me pull these guys out. There we go. And now we're going to continue to pour color in. So I have just a little bit more of this gold that I'm going to put around the edge here. And hopefully it comes out fairly evenly. And then let's go, I'm going to go over this extra clear, but I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to go over with the coffee color. I don't actually mind if this goes right up to the coffee beans, but I think it would look good to have a little bit of space in there. And then the cream color. And that's going to push that other color in a bit, which is okay. I wanted this to be the main color of the piece. It looks like I'm going a little heavier on that side than this one. Okay, now I've got more clear here. So I'm going to actually mix that, I think, into this cream kind of color cup. So this isn't going to be opaque, but that's okay. It's going to take some of that opacity and some of that color. And then I'm going to just add that here. This will also add a lot of depth. And is this going to come out awesome? I have no idea. We'll see. We will see. I don't even know which side I'll use as the top. And then I do want to take some clear and I want to put it over those coffee beans to make sure they're covered fully, which will probably cause them to move around a little bit, but that's okay. That's what you got to do. I can move them back. They'll probably still move. That's okay. All right, and now I'm just going to pour the rest of the clear. So I cannot wait to see how this dries. It's going to be very interesting. I have a feeling I'll probably flip this over when I demold it, but we'll see. All right, I just want to take a stick here, and I'm going to kind of swirl this part. And push in those beans a bit. Okay, there we have it. I might add a couple more beans later, but who knows? And keep in mind, this is going to move as it cures, so it's not going to stay just like this. I think the beans are going to move either way, and I have to just not worry about it. The last thing I will do here is I will take my isopropyl alcohol, and I will spritz this to remove the air bubbles, and I'll come back in about 10 minutes and do that again. And that's what we have for this project. So I cannot wait to see it dry. Does anyone have any questions before I end off for today? Going once, going twice. I hope my chat box isn't frozen. It got very quiet in there. Let me refresh real quick. Just in case. It's frozen before, so. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you could do the beans in a coaster first, absolutely. Then they'll move around less. But then you wouldn't be able to do a bowl easily. Maybe a smaller coaster? I'm not sure. But anyways, that's just an idea. All right, guys. I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you all next time. Okay, good. Pat, I just let it dry and then peel it out. All right, I'll see you guys later.